And I believe we are live. Are we live? We're going to do a little bit of a test before we start. Hmm. Yes, we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a live stream talking about the Wisconsin Supreme Court race. That's right, everybody. We're finally going to be discussing the Wisconsin Supreme Court race in great detail. So I decided I didn't want to do a video on this for today. There will be a video on it probably Monday on the Wisconsin Supreme Court election. So I want to do a live stream detailing what do we have to look at for Tuesday? What is the pathway for Kelly? And I wanted to discuss the electoral past or the recent history of Wisconsin for elections. Because many people, I don't think, truly understand the coalitions that exist in Wisconsin. I'm not saying, people don't get it, but I just think people, they just misunderstand, where the coalitions end and where they begin. That's what I mean by, I want to explain it a bit more, because some people are kind of just, I don't think they're stupid. I just think that they are misunderstanding what the coalitions are in Wisconsin, because quite frankly, it is a very complicated state politically. I know that doesn't surprise anybody, but it is a fairly complicated state when you look at the coalitions, right? When you delve deep into it, boy, there can be a lot of crap when it comes to some of these results, because Wisconsin at times, I question why some of these results even happen. But enough of that. Before we continue with today's live stream, I hope everyone's having a beautiful Thursday afternoon. If you are having a great day, I hope you smash the like button down below, subscribe, share it with your friends, hit that little bell. Guys, follow the Twitter accounts in the description down below. I know I've been bashing that on your head for a while now, but if you join or follow the Twitter accounts below, it can help Real American Politics gain steam on Twitter again. And of course, I've said this for a while now, join the channel today. Guys, just for $3 a month, you could join Real American Politics, which is a phenomenal deal as it helps support the daily content we all know and love. You love the daily content? Well, this is the best way to support the daily content we all know and love. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. Alright, everybody. So let me be clear, I'm not doing a prediction for today because early voting's still happening, and plus I think it's quite early to do a prediction just yet. But I will say one thing about the prediction front. People that have it as Protasiewicz plus 6, 7, 8, no. Absolutely not gonna happen. You can make an argument Protasiewicz wins by 4 or 5. Fine. But these people that have as Protasiewicz plus 8, well, flat out, I think you're delusional. That's the best way to say to some of these people, because here's the truth. That many people on the left have been, coping about on Twitter. The early voting has been decent for Kelly. Or I'm not saying, it's going to win him the election, but people are saying, well, the numbers in Waukesha may be up, but those are Democrat voters. So yes, early voting turnout is way higher in Waukesha. It's down in Milwaukee. It's down in Dane County comparatively to the primary. So the statewide totals compared to Milwaukee and Madison, they're down. While the numbers in Waukesha, the numbers in Ozaukee, Washington, the areas that, quite frankly, Kelly needs a run-up, and we'll get to that in a little bit, they're turning out. And people are saying, oh, these are all Democrat voters. A lot of people have not been paying attention. Basically, every county in Wisconsin that's a Republican Party, every Republican county, whatever, Republican Party county, whatever, like the Waukesha GOP, they have been hammering people, vote early, vote early, vote early, vote early. All right? So this idea that it's going to only benefit Democrats, yes, it's going to be more favorable to Democrats, but Republicans, they've been hammering people, go vote early if you can. All right? Vote as early as possible. All right? So these people saying that this was bad news for Kelly, that turnouts up in Waukesha, what are you talking about? What? In the precinct that is like, what? I understand there's a large chunk coming from Waukesha City, which is more 50-50, but still, if... Okay, we'll get to the ancestral part in a little bit, because some people are just frustrating me with some of these takes about Waukesha, alright, or Ozaki, whatever. So, point is, early voting has been better than expected for Kelly. That doesn't mean he's going to win by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not saying that. But the numbers from the early vote totals indicate this will be much closer than the primary. It was like a D+8 in the primary, or D+7. People seriously have it as D+8, D+9. My prediction will not be Protasewicz +8 or 9. That I can assure you. That's delusional. That is complete delusion. And we'll get to why that is completely delusional in a little bit. But I want to debunk one more thing before we really get into the meat and potatoes. This funding gap. Yes, Protasewicz has been outspending Kelly. Yes, that is true. But by 15-1 margins is at best misleading. You want to know why? Because outside groups have been spending tens of millions of dollars for Justice Daniel Kelly. Right here. I know this is simple, but that's kind of the point. Janet and third parties spent $11 million. Kelly and third parties spent about $10 million. So Protasewicz has about $1 million advantage. And I know people are going to say, oh, well, the third parties, they don't get as much, or not as effective. Yes, they're not going to be 100% the value if Kelly spent $10 million. He spent around, I would say, $1 million at this point. But here's the thing, though, all right? It's still effective. It's not, a tenth of the rate. It's maybe like a half at most. So you do the math, you realize it's not that big of a gap as people are making it sound like it is, all right? It's not this huge, overwhelming gap, all right? And this isn't including how a lot of groups, Americans for Prosperity, for example, they have spent an infinite amount of money on flyers. They've been spending a lot of money on the ground game. If this election was purely decided by a ground game, Kelly would win easily. It's not even close. I have yet to see a Protasewicz volunteer. I'm just going to be honest. I haven't seen one. I've seen a couple Kelly's volunteers. Nothing for Protasewicz. Their entire campaign is bank on early voting and money. That's what they're banking on. And I understand in recent years things have gotten weird with early voting, but Republicans have been catching up slowly. The Kelly campaign's been heavily hammering the fact you got to get your vote in any imaginable way. Vote early in person, vote by absentee, whatever. And you have people like Scott Presler in Wisconsin telling people, do the same thing. And I'm hearing he's having great success in the Milwaukee area. That's where he's been mostly. And also, you look here, in the final week of the campaign, all right, March 28th through April 3rd, Janet and third parties are spending $1.7 million. Kelly and third parties are spending $3.1 million. And just to be even more clear, groups like the Wisconsin Manufacturers of Commerce, they are a big supporter of Kelly. They dropped even more money on this race like 2 days ago. If this race was unwinnable, they wouldn't spend a freaking dime. They are spending a lot of money. And even Democrats, they're getting arrogant. They think this is a D+15 race, which it isn't. It isn't some D+50 race. It's going to be close, all right? So that's that. That's my tangent over. So we're going to discuss the regions of Wisconsin because many people, they don't understand what the Driftless region is. They think it's like 5 people, all right? The Driftless region, best way to describe it, it's southwestern Wisconsin, all right? There's arguments how far it goes up, but most people agree it's these counties, from Lafayette to Buffalo. These are the counties that most people agree is the Driftless region, all right? Here's the thing, though. People make it sound like nobody lives here. There's more votes from this region than there is from Dane County. So this idea that a 1% boost in Dane County gives Pro DeSave's election, no, it doesn't. Dane is like, what, 10% of the vote? At most. It isn't 70% like Arizona with Maricopa. It's at most like 10. It's at most like 10%. Lots of farms are in the Driftless. Yeah, there's a lot of, a lot of rural votes. That's the Driftless region in a nutshell. There is a lot of votes that can be grabbed. Yes, Iowa County, Grant. There's not a lot of votes compared to Madison, but you start adding it up. Place like Trempealeau, Jackson, Monroe. There's a lot of memes about Monroe. Vernon, Crawford. There's a lot of votes that can be grabbed in this region, and they're winnable, which we'll show you in a little bit. Do you think Daniel Kelly will win? Here's what I will say. Is it leaning towards Protasiewicz? Yes. It is leaning towards Protasiewicz because we had an unnecessary primary. Doro should have never ran. This is delusion on her part, quite frankly. And the people saying she would have won? What's the difference between Kelly and Doro? Can somebody explain this to me? They're the same. They're even from the same county. I think Kelly lives with rural Waukesha. You're gonna freaking tell me that Doro and Kelly are the same? They're the same on the issues. They ran basically the same campaign. The only difference is Doro, she may get more donations, yes, but she gets nothing from out-of-state spenders. That is the big difference between Doro and Kelly. Huge difference. So, yeah, this idea that Doro would have done the same, they would do basically the same. Any other take's delusional. Why do you think they're waiting on her son's story? If you don't know, Jennifer Doro is a Waukesha judge. That's why she did best in Waukesha. Wow, what a surprise. Either way, there is a big scandal about her son that if she was a nomination, she was dead on arrival. Right? In my opinion, compared to the primary and stuff. Why? Her son, which I'm not going to bash her for. I'm not going to bash it. But her story, her son's story, it won't sit well with a lot of voters. That is what I will say and end it there. But either way, Doro would arguably have done worse than Kelly. There's no proof to say Doro would have done better. Really? If Doro was such a great candidate, why did she lose to Kelly? And Kelly was some unelectable candidate. The two are the same. The two are the exact same. So, with that out of the way, Protasiewicz versus Kelly. This election comes down, in my opinion, to margins. Wow, what a stunner. Now, before we look at that, we have to look at a bit of history because a lot of people just forget what elections look like in Wisconsin in Mitt Romney's time. This was in 2012. Mitt Romney lost Wisconsin by 7 points. This was the map. He did great in Waukesha. He did great in Ozaukee. He did phenomenal there. He had like 66, 67% of the vote in Waukesha. Right? He still lost by 7. All right, he did great in Milwaukee. Did okay in Dane. He got crushed in the southwestern region. You see my point? Yes, Waukesha and them, they do matter. All right, you can't lose. You can't win Waukesha by just 15 and expect to win. But look at this map. Look at this map and tell me, yeah, Waukesha will determine this election. It will be a big chunk of it, but we just got to see what his margins are in Waukesha, because the only time it works for the Waukesha strategy, that's what I call it, is one of two cases. Number one, Ron Johnson. This is Ron Johnson's result in 2020 or 2016. He won by 3.5. He did terrible in the Driftless, but he had great margins in Milwaukee, Waukesha, Ozaukee, but he got basically the every single vote he can juice out of those 3 counties. Compare that to Trump. Compare that to Trump. The entire Driftless area flipped to Trump, while Ron Johnson struggled. He struggled. And compare that to Mitt Romney. Look at all that blue. Look at all that blue that was in the western half of Wisconsin. There are a lot of votes out there compared to the rest of the state. This idea that you could win an election just by Dane County and Milwaukee? Baloney! Baloney. Trump did worse in both of those counties. Yet, he won the state. He won the state by 7. He did worse in Waukesha. He did worse in Dane. He did worse in Milwaukee. He did about the same in Washington. That's the other suburb. He did worse in Ozaukee. But guess what? There's a lot of rural votes. Wisconsin is virtually all rural votes compared to other states. I mean, it's closer to Iowa than it is from Michigan or Pennsylvania. So that is the rural strategy. You basically have to win every single one of these driftless counties to win with this strategy. But the other one, there is another path for Kelly, and we'll get to that a little bit. The Scott Walker strategy. He only lost in 2018 by a point, which I have my own opinions about that. Look up what Milwaukee did at 3 a.m. The meme was even back then. Look it up. It's a disgrace. But either way, look at this. He only lost to Evers by a point. He did terrible in the Driftless, but he did great in Waukesha, did phenomenal in Ozaukee, did good in Milwaukee. The problem? Too many Trump voters either didn't vote or flipped to Evers. That's why the southwestern region flipped Democrat. So, look at a success story of the suburban strategy. That's the best way to describe it. 2019. If everybody and their mother, if you have anybody that has the internet, look up this race. The 2019 Wisconsin Supreme Court election. Yellow is the conservative candidate, Hagendorf, while the green is the liberal Newborough. Point is, look at this map. Look how terrible he did. Look at this compared to how let's just look how Trump did here. You see in the western half, there's a lot of pink and light red counties. Well, here, a lot of it's dark. A lot of it's green, and a lot of it's light yellow. You would think, in this result, he would have lost. Hagendorf won by a half point. Yet he got crushed in Grange, he got crushed in Lafayette, got crushed in Vernon. What was the key? Look at southeastern Wisconsin, Waukesha, Ozaukee, Washington. He did better than Bush and Romney in those counties. Yeah, better than Bush or Romney. And he did good in Milwaukee also. That is, in my opinion, the key for this election. This map proves you need perfect numbers in Waukesha, Ozaukee, and Washington to win Wisconsin without the Driftless region. Even with 70% in most of these areas, he still only won by a half point. This is what the map will look like. Right, or roughly speaking, there's probably like 1 or 2 counties that flip. People that have the Green Bay area all flipping, you're delusional. This is what the map will probably look like on Tuesday. Right? So, this is what the map, it just depends on margins. Now, how can Kelly win with this scenario? All right, let's say this is roughly the strategy he has to do. Okay. Because in my opinion, you're not going to get enough Trump voters to flip in the Driftless region. It's just realistic. This is an election where not enough Trump voters, unless Trump endorses Kelly, they're just not going to vote. They don't have a reason to vote. That's the problem with the Trump coalition. The only negative is they're not like suburban voters where they vote no matter what. Rural voters, you need to give them a reason. Like, they'll vote in presidential elections, sure, but it's like, okay, it's a Supreme Court race. Whoop-de-doo. So, here, in my opinion, is the pathway for Kelly. Number one, he needs to get similar numbers in the WoW counties. For example, Waukesha. If you combine Doro and Kelly's numbers, they got around 64%. If he gets 64 or 65% in Waukesha, that's a damn good sign. That is a damn good sign in Waukesha. But in my opinion, the county that will determine this race comes from actually Ozaki. Yes, Ozaki County. Kelly and Doro combined for 57% of the vote. If Kelly gets around 61% of the vote in Ozaki, right? If he gets 60%, he's in a good situation. Because this is a Democrat trending county. It's a northern suburb of Milwaukee. If he gets 60% here, he's in a good situation. Because that means he's doing damn good at Waukesha. He's holding his own in Milwaukee. That's the significance of Ozaki. You can hold your own in this county. If you do that, you're doing fine in the rest of the suburbs. Same deal for Racine. Racine, it's going to be Kelly no matter what. Same deal with Kenosha. I can't believe Kenosha is not a swing county anymore, but that's what it is. So this is where the election, if Kelly's holding his own, gets 65% here, he gets 60% here, he gets, what's the math here? He gets around 74%. That's probably pushing it, but if he gets similar margins in Washington, this map gets a lot easier at that point. Now, at that point, he needs to do good in the Fox Valley. This is the Green Bay area. You have Green Bay, Appleton, and Oshkosh. That's why it's a Fox Valley. You got Brown, Outagamie, and Winnebago. These three counties, you can't lose a single one. If you lose Winnebago, you're done. You're not going to win. There's no pathway for you to win if you lose Winnebago. Same thing with Outagamie and Brown, but if you lose Winnebago, there's literally no way you can win, right? In that situation. You have to win this. Winnebago is a blue-collar county, but it's a bit more suburban and urban than other working-class counties. It has a working-class city in Oshkosh. And this will be a good indicator to see how is he doing in the Fox Valley, because he needs to win Winnebago by a couple points. He needs to run up in Brown. Brown County shocked a lot of people because this is where Green Bay is. And if Kelly wins 55, 56%, we're cooking. Just like Walter White, we're cooking in this election. We have a serious shot. But if he's barely winning Winnebago or even losing it, it's probably over. It probably is over at that point. So, that is the big three, all right? Winnebago, Outagamie, Brown. There's other counties in this region, but these are the ones everybody should pay attention to on election night. And there is a couple more that absolutely must be watched on election night. If you want to watch a couple counties in the western half, there's one in particular that it's going to determine the election. It will 100% determine, will we have a Supreme Court that's conservative or not? It comes from Grant County. This is the most important county in the Driftless region. Just to give a bit of perspective, you go to, let's see here, let's look at 2018 governor race. You see Walker, he lost Grant County. If he would have won Grant County, he probably would still be the governor right now, or he would have won the governor's race back in 2018. Grant County is it's pretty freaking important. It's one of the bigger counties in this region, in particular the way southwestern part of Wisconsin. Point is, this is a critical county. Now, I know it was 50-50 in the primary, but if Republicans do good in Grant County, that is a real good sign they're doing good in a place like Crawford. They're doing a good place like Richland. And they don't have to win this. People are getting stumped by this idea Kelly needs to win every single one of them. No. He just can't get killed. Like, look at Richland. Only 45%. This county voted for Trump by like 15. Crawford, only 43% conservative. Another county that voted for Trump. You just cannot lose these counties by such a large margin that's impossible to come back from. And that is the key. You don't have to win these counties, just minimize it. But if you win a place like Grant, you're probably cooking for the night. Now, people are going to say, oh, well, Dane County. Dane County's always going to exist. I mean, I guess the only thing to say is get it below 80%. That's really the only thing I could say about Dane. But who knows? Without Everett Mitchell on the ballot, maybe they don't have as many votes for Protasewicz and it goes under 80. If you go under 80%, you're starting to really do the math here. So yeah, big things is Grant, Winnebago, and Ozaukee. My opinion, those are the three most important counties for margins. And in Winnebago's in Grant case, Grant you have to win by a couple points. Winnebago, you just have to win. You cannot afford to lose Winnebago. And Ozaukee, you got to get at least 60%. So those are the three big counties that people should pay attention to on election night. All right, let's see what the chat is saying. And again, if you have any super chats, I recommend you send them now because I don't know how long I'm going to stream for. Do you think the election will reflect Wisconsin 2024? No. Because, that's the second topic for today, the ancestral parts of Wisconsin. We'll get to that in a little bit because there's a lot of Trump Democrats and there's a lot of Biden Republicans in Wisconsin. Sounds bad to me. I don't think a generic Republican will win here. As Kelly's mentioned, like a generic R. He's focused on the fact that Protasewicz is a freaking loser. That's the best way to say it. She is soft on crime. That's what they've been running on. If she is soft on crime and they run on that, that's their whole thing. That since she's soft on crime, what do you think's going to happen when she's on the Supreme Court? That's what they've been running on. All right. Will you see the results? Abso-freaking-lutely. This is such a critical election for my state. I gotta stream it. You think Trump should have done a rally here for Kelly? At least a tele-rally. That's what he should have done. I don't know what Trump's world is doing. They're just ignoring this race. They care so much about winning 2024, but they're ignoring the most important election of this year. If Kelly wins, Trump's pathway to the presidency is a lot easier. Because you have a Supreme Court that's not going to get rid of voter ID. Dan Kelly's running like Tim Michaels. That's not true. He's actually doing events at the end. Do you think Trump should have done a... Yeah, so Trump should have done a rally here. I don't know what... Again, I'm just frustrated by the GOP here. I don't know what their game plan is. They would blame Trump for scaring away moderates. Well, that worked for Youngkin, didn't it? Trump did a tele-rally for Youngkin and it padded his margin. Trump just don't do a freaking rally in, Fairfax. That's what everybody's saying. Like, do a rally in rural Virginia. That's what helped Youngkin. He did a tele-rally. I think he should have did a rally after the fact, but this is very good news for Blake Masters. So true. Or Doug Mastriano. Clearly, Katie Hobbs will win. Nah. This race will be cut just down the wire. It's going to be close. Do you think DeSantis doing a rally in Wisconsin? Yes. Look, DeSantis. You're talking so much about running, rumors are you're going to run for 2024. Why aren't you going to help Kelly? In a state you need to win not only for the primary, but the general. Will you leave Wisconsin? No. Who do you think should be the governor for 2026? The Republican candidate? Ooh. I actually don't know. It sounds to me that Janet's getting her giving her base read to me with progressive pandering. What about Kelly? What Kelly has been focused on. And this is, for this election we'll get to in a minute because it's risky, but if it works, it works. Protasewicz has been an open progressive. She is running on, the maps are rigged. We're going to get rid of these maps. The GQP mandated it. Well, that's not a good thing for independent voters. What Kelly's campaign's focused on is, hey, you got to sway some voters over. This is a lower turnout race with a lot of people that are not 100% decided. That's been Kelly's campaign. Focus on these swayable voters, and you have a good chance. It's risky as hell, which I'll explain why in a little bit. But if it works, he's the next Supreme Court justice. So the RNC has been clever in keeping this relatively under the rug. It stops them from deploying the machine to destroy Kelly. Most of the RNC's work has been underground and seems to be ineffective. Yeah, the RNC's actually been doing things. But I'm just saying as a whole, the national GOP has just been missing. Outside of the RNC giving some money. That's about it. The Midwest has been very disappointing since 2016. Yeah, outside of Ohio and Iowa. The only reason why Wisconsin is still Democratic is the GOP can't figure out who to turn voters out without Trump on the ballot. That's the problem. And they're still trying to replicate the Walker coalition, you know. Again, this map here. All right, let's get it here. The best example is, of course, Walker in 2018. That's the best example. They're trying to replicate this, at least around the Milwaukee area. You know, run it up in Waukesha and Washington, and you don't just limit your losses in the rest of the state, which is stupid. Like, I would say it's the opposite. Just don't win Waukesha by at least 20. Hold Ozaki to, like, you know, a 15-point victory, and run up the rest of the state. You got it then. I think it's much easier. That is much easier to do than just hold the ground the rest of the state. That's my humble opinion. Let's see. Rap loves Dane. No. Dane County has a lot of problems. Way too many problems for me. If Walker ran in 2022, would he have won? Ooh. What? No, I don't know. I don't know about that. Were you disappointed that Scott Walker didn't run for Senate? Nah. Because Scott Walker's time was done. Like, he may have beaten Evers if he ran, but, nah. That's a maybe. DeSantis will win through Massachusetts, Vermont, and Oregon. So true. I think he's going to lose them. Now, the thing with Kelly, and this is the big problem with, or I should say a problem. The thing with Kelly is he is running a very good campaign. His ground game's phenomenal. The problem is, I just think if Trump did a tele rally, this would have been a slam dunk for him. But who knows? Who knows? They're trying to bank on Waukesha. That's what they're trying to do. Can Tom Tiffany beat Baldwin? I think he could. Not saying it's a favorite, but I think he could. Were you disappointed? No, I already read that. All right. So, yeah, again, if you have any super chats, not just regular chats, just super chats like, oh, send me money. Send them now because I don't know when I'm going to do it. I don't know when I'm going to stop the stream. So, yeah. All right. I think we're going back to the coalition part. If you could have complete control. We got, speaking of super chats, DJ Aftershock for 5. Want to know the ideology of the suburbs have changed. Look who used to represent Abraham Jefferson in Douglas County. A certain fellow named Tancredo. Yeah. Look up Tancredo. He's a Chad. Thoughts on an inspector call. What is that? Kelly's running like it's 2013, not 2020. Well, his thing is he's trying to just make sure, like, the Waukesha's people, like, what the fuck is Protasiewicz saying? That's what he's trying to run on. Like, that's his entire campaign because Protasiewicz is running as an open progressive. If you could have complete control over 10 statewide parties and fix them, which ones would it be? First one I would say is Arizona. Nevada, Nevada's okay. So I wouldn't say Nevada. I would say Minnesota, definitely. Wisconsin. Nah, actually not Wisconsin. Wisconsin's fine. Michigan, that's a third one. Pennsylvania, yeah. Ohio's been incompetent at the state legislator level. Let's see. Illinois is definitely up there. They're vastly underrated for incompetence. Colorado, there's races they can win. They just keep shooting themselves in the foot. New Mexico, Kansas is a big one. And Missouri. Those are the 10. Like, Missouri has good senators, but their party sucks. That's just the truth. Some shitty book. Yeah, I haven't heard about it. Swap Michigan with Nevada. No, Michigan. Yeah, Nevada's not the problem. I only counted 10, so it would be Arizona. That's one. Arizona. There are some serious problems there. Let's see. Ron Johnson never ran. Yeah, Ron Johnson didn't run. We would not have a filibuster. But yeah, Arizona's one. Colorado, New Mexico, Kansas. They call Youngkin extremists. They're useless. Missouri. Minnesota, that's a bad one. Michigan, Ohio's bad. Like, their statewide party doesn't know what the hell they're doing. Let's see, Pennsylvania, they're up there, they're pretty bad. So that's 9. What's a 10th one? Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, Kansas, Missouri, Minnesota, Michigan, Ohio, PA. Virginia's good now. That's a surprise. South Carolina, they're pretty bad. So that's 10. South Carolina has good congressmen. Like, they got some good congressmen. Their problem is their senators suck. That's their problem. Hawaii, some of those state parties, I'm not even going to pretend exist. Maine, ooh, yeah, Maine's bad. That's pretty bad. Utah, some doozies. New Hampshire, ooh. I would say New Hampshire they're one of the best at a statewide level. Federal level, they're the worst. One of the worst, I would say. That's how I see it. Statewide, they win, a huge majority in both chambers. They win by 50 at the governor's race, but then they fall apart. So yeah, Utah's up there. Indiana, they get some slack because they're getting jam banks. That's why they get some slack. Now the redistricting part, yes, but outside of that, they're not terrible compared to other parties. Mississippi, because of Mississippi is useless, but they're not the worst. Oklahoma's good. I would say they're a good statewide party. DC. Again, some of these state parties don't exist. Arkansas is Tom Cotton. His problem's foreign policy. If Tom Cotton had good foreign policy, he would be literally the best senator. That's the truth. Connecticut holds its own. Connecticut does its job. They come close to winning the governor's race. That's what matters. What's the 10 best? All right, Tennessee's 1. I don't think I gotta say much more. Tennessee doesn't give a shit. North Carolina doesn't either. North Carolina's probably tied. North Carolina or Tennessee? Hold on. Let's see here. Better party. Tennessee, North Carolina. That's a good one. They're both really good. Because Tennessee, they just don't give a shit. North Carolina, they're going to gerrymander the crap out of that seat. Yeah, people are saying North Carolina. It's close. It is really close. So, yeah, so far it's majority. 60% say North Carolina. Now it's flipping. Puerto Rico, don't they have a couple of, don't they have a governor that's Republican in Puerto Rico? Tennessee by here. I would say North Carolina. They know what they're doing. New York GOP has gotten good. They've gotten really good. So, how did New York get a competent GOP? I've never heard of that. I don't think they've ever had a good one before. Could North Carolina get more Republican? If Mark Robinson wins, yeah. I think it's the next Florida if Robinson wins. I think Arizona's gone for Republicans. I wouldn't say that. It just... We just need to get our act together in some of these states. That's just the truth. Alabama's good. Rap, how you not mention Alaska? Well, in the defense of the Alaskan GOP, they got shafted with that referendum. So I'm not going to go hard on them. It's just Palin and the Big Rich. They both screwed us. And plus, they tried to get rid of Murkowski, but they couldn't. So I'm giving Alaska some slack here. The Dakotas, like, I know Kramer, the North Dakota senator, he sponsored a bill to make English the official language, but why are they called the WOW counties? Because it's Waukesha, Ozaukee, and Washington. That's why. It's WOW. Wow. That's why they're called that. It's Waukesha, Ozaukee, Washington. Those are the start of the first name, the average, yeah. Anyways. Wholesome DJ Aftershock for 2. 12R 2D North Carolina map is possible, bar suburban erosion. It's gonna happen. Like, the North Carolina GOP, they don't give a shit. They'll be like, okay, we got the majority and everything. Let's just make sure Democrats never get a majority anywhere. So I think they are gonna have a real good map coming up. Princess Ryder for 5. Do you think Lombardo can get his voter reform passed in Nevada? I think it's going to pass through a referendum. That's how I think he's going to get passed. Lombardo's been a good governor. I may have to do a video on him today. If you were to pick a VP for Trump, DeSantis, solely to win the Midwest, who'd you pick? Josh Hawley or probably Vance. That's who I would pick. But I don't think Vance will be a VP just yet, though. I'm calling this now. I think Vance will be a future president. Future presidential candidate with the next, 10 years. I'm calling it. Do you think if Lombardo plays it smart, he can make Nevada start trending even faster to the right? Yes. The problem with Nevada is it's such a slow trending state. It hurts. It absolutely hurts. But I think 2024, it is tilting Republican for that year. Will Katie Hobbs veto herself in a recall? Hobbs is screwed, I think. I think Hobbs is going to... She's going to get recalled, I think. Kemp is saying that was Georgia GOP. Yeah, he's doing his job. I used to hate Kemp, but he's been alright. He's been good lately. He would be a good president. You saying Vance? Yeah, Vance would be a great president. I mean, everybody loves him now. Remember these people to lose right? Oh, Vance is such a shit candidate. Nobody likes him. Well, guess what? He's one of the most well-liked people in the Senate now. Let's see. That political guy for 5. If you were to run for president, who would you make your VP? Vance or Hawley. Or, actually, I would go with Zeldin. I think Zeldin, actually, now I think about it. Because I think my problem would be I would just get the rule base out, but Zeldin would help with the suburbs. He would definitely help. So I would say Zeldin. That's my opinion. Opinions on Young kid terraforming Virginia over 2 years. Yeah, he's been a phenomenal governor. Now, there's been some problems with him, but... Excluding Reynolds or Gianforte, who's the most underrated governor? Ooh. Let's see. There's a lot of crap. I hate to say this, but I think it may be Tennessee. The governor of Tennessee. What's his name? Why am I blanking on his name? I shouldn't. He's pretty good. Or comparatively, he's good. Bill Lee. Bill Lee. That's a governor of Tennessee. I think he's underrated. Thoughts on the Iowa GOP? They're one of the best. The Iowa GOP knows what they're doing. And they're going to have a 4-0 Republican delegation. So, yay. Yeah, it's Bill Lee. Thanks for clarifying that. Yeah, it's Bill Lee. I think he's a good governor. Pick George Santos. I mean, George Santos on the ticket would just win a bunch of votes for the memes. You know, it would be the people that voted for Vermin Supreme. They would vote for the George Santos ticket. I guarantee it. So you'll probably get 50 votes, but still, I think it's worth it. You think Kari Lake would make a good VP? Well, hear me out. Just hear me out for a second. It depends on who the presidential candidate is. That's who it depends. For example, if it's Lee Zeldin, abso-frickin-lutely, Lake can get the base out. All right, while Zeldin, he could get everybody out, but Lake energized the base way more than Zeldin. So it depends on the presidential candidate. Which has the most cringe state GOP voters in the country? Oh, Utah. Or not Utah, they got screwed by the convention system. Probably the primary voters? That's hard to tell. Other way around, who's the most overrated governor in the country? Oh, boy. Oh. Yay. Overrated. Mike DeWine, is he really overrated? I think people like him because he won by a lot, but he sucks. I don't think he's overrated, though. Ooh. This is a tricky one. Kristi Noem's up there. She is terrible. She's not good at all. I think Lake will run in the recall, especially with the court surprising give her a win. We got to talk about that. Kari Lake got, in my opinion, one of the biggest legal wins in the election integrity in a couple of years. The Arizona Supreme Court said, look, the other stuff, it's nonsense. You got no case. But the signature check, you do got a case. The lower court has to look into it. They have to do at least a signature check. So that's a good thing. So I hope that it goes through, but I do think the recall, it's going to happen. If they find a huge, signature check, they find, 10% or something like that, she's going to get recalled and lose. I guarantee it. Gould from Wyoming's underrated. I don't know enough about him to say he's underrated from Wyoming. Abbott, ooh. He was crap before, but now he's alright. He's doing a decent job. Yeah, it is a massive win for Lake. Hopefully it continues, but I don't know. Did you see the trans activists storm the Tennessee Capitol? Yeah, it's insurrection. That's the first thing I thought. This is an insurrection. Let's see. Who is the best Democrat governor? There's two good options, I would say. I would say Edwards from Louisiana. John Bel Edwards. He's the best governor for Democrats. Most underrated, I said it's probably Bill Lee from Tennessee. What do you think of Tulsi Gabbard as Trump's VP? I think that helps Trump in that scenario because it helps him get some more of the independent votes over. John Bel Edwards, yeah, he's the best. Just because he's pro-life. That makes him the best. Would Joe Biden survive a second term? Oh, I'm not going to make that prediction because I think it's a 50-50 right now. Thoughts on Tony Gonzalez? He's going to get primaried out. The Texas GOP's planning it. I don't know what he's doing. I really... You're in a Trump plus 8 seat. What the hell are you talking about? What do you think is more likely to flip? Wisconsin or Nevada? I think Nevada. Well, gosh, that's such a hard one because Nevada's trends are just to the right, but it's so slow, while Wisconsin's more volatile, like Iowa was. DJ Aftershock for 2. Opinion on the 2001 Mark Warner. He's the Virginia senator, right? Yeah, he is. Wasn't he actually moderate at one point? I don't know. I honestly can't say enough about that. Thoughts on Willie Vasquez primary and Tony Gonzalez? Isn't he the ICE agent? I think that'll be a good one. I think Gonzalez is going to lose. Steve Daines. Yeah, Steve Daines for Senate leader. He is the only thing we got going in 2024 that's positive. Thoughts on Rust Belt Democrat governors as presidential candidates? Evers is just too old. He is way too old. At this point in time, he's like 74, I think. Which I know, but it's you're talking about 8 years later. It's not going to happen. And he's going to retire, so there's that. But Whitmer is overrated. She won because of crap candidates both times. In 2018, Republicans had that scandal with Flint because the Republican governor did nothing about it. So there's that. Now, Shapiro, he would be a threat. Shapiro's running for president eventually. I'm calling it. I mean, he's been okay for a governor. He's probably the second best Democrat governor. That's saying something, but... thoughts on J.R. Majewski and his military records being illegally leaked. He got screwed over. This is somebody that I have information on this. People say this race, that didn't impact the race. There was internal polling days before that story was leaked illegally and was fake. Majewski was winning by 3. I know that's margin of error, but still, he was up by 3 points. And it didn't go too well. It sunk after that because our NRCC, they bailed on him. So, it's disgraced what happened. I hope he sues somebody. That's just ridiculous what happened to him. Who should McConnell be replaced with the Kentucky Senate seat? I don't know. It's going to be a McConnell show. Unless he just retires now because he's not doing too well, from what I've heard. And it's going to be Republican. The Democrat has to pick Republican. J.D. Vance versus Josh Shapiro. Ooh, that would be a complete war. Ooh. I think JR should challenge Brown next year. No. It's going to be Frank LaRose or Ramaswamy. That's my bet. Worst Democrat senator. The one from Hawaii. The one that called old white men like trash. She's awful. Huncow, yeah, Huncow needs to run for that Senate seat. The whole point is just get somebody like Spanberger out of there. He's a sacrificial lamb. Plus, he may, in a best case scenario, win. So I think it's a win-win for everybody. Thoughts of Calvert running for governor. Is that the guy from California? He's running? You serious? Calvert, is that the representative from California? Here we know, yeah. She's a lunatic. She's probably the worst. Maxie, yeah. I'm trying to think of her name. That's what it was. Thank you. If Ken Calvert runs, I don't know about that. I don't think that's going to end too well. Yeah, Majewski got character assassinated. And people like Ryan Cook says, oh, the race wouldn't have been affected. Yes, it was. Polling data internally had Majewski winning, then they sunk him. He would have won that race if it wasn't for that story. At least if he would have lost, it would have been like 2 or 3 points. Who should run for the Senate seat in Nevada? We're running out of options. Laxalt, I don't think is going to run, sadly. The lieutenant governor, maybe? He's pretty decent. What's the chance of Virginia becoming a swing state? I don't think it's going to be a swing state, but not North Carolina, it's going to be like a leaning Republican state. Or leaning Democrat, excuse me. It's going to be like 4 or 5 point victory in most years. Like the best case scenario was like a D plus 10 2020. Captor won by 14 though. Yeah, she's not going to... Well, it depends if they redistrict or not. That's a problem. You have her in Toledo. So... Thoughts on Kirsten Gillibrand saying Cuomo's running for Senate. Are you serious? Is Cuomo actually running for the Senate seat? Please. I will donate money to Cuomo, the primary Gillibrand, because then we could get Senators Lee Zeldin somehow. Without the scandal, Majewski would have lost by 5. Fine, if you lose it by 5, that's a 13-point swing, or whatever it was. Any polls in Wisconsin Supreme Court. There was a couple of eternals they had to race within like 3 or 4 or for the WMC. And that political guy for 10, thank you so much for the super chat. These December MAGA heads are high on copium. Staple slide 2024, 530 electoral vote, 50 state sweep, stop coping, Supreme Leader Stapleton will bring a new age of freedom and unite the world. Read! What the heck did I just read? What? Oh, I love these super chats. There's usually some memes involved. Oh, it's beautiful. Thoughts of Little Caesars. Pretty good pizza. Pretty good. Even if Cuomo wins, he'll be better than Gillibrand. Yeah, Gillibrand just sucks. But here's the thing, though. Nobody knows who she is in New York. I don't think she's visited New York in years. Billy Long supremacy. True. I can't get over that super chat. What did I just read? Billy Long is running for Springfield, Missouri mayor 2024. Clearly it's time for Vivek Ramaswamy. Is this like Morbin sweep? But Ramaswamy, I think, would be a good Senate candidate. I think he would be. Now, President, I just think he's running just to get his name recognition when he runs for the Senate. That's what I think's happening. But he's being smart. Not doing what, I don't know what DeSantis is doing. Vivek Ramaswamy is running on his own thing. Get rid of affirmative action. That's his unique platform. Perry Johnson, run on the 2-cent plan. DeSantis, I don't know what he's going to run on. Make America Florida? Is that what he's going to run on? Who knows? Man Milk for 2. Would you support Saul Goodman for New Mexico Senate? Yes, even in prison. Do you think if Republicans win the Senate in Virginia, it will start becoming far more competitive? Like I said, I think it's going to be like a lean Democrat seat at best for Republicans. Could Paul Vallas become mayor of Chicago? It's going to be down the wire. I think he's going to hold on. I think he may win. I think he is slightly favored by like a point, but Saul Goodman would be better for Attorney General. Oh, God. Saul Goodman as Attorney General. That just, wow. That would be great. Do you see what Arizona Dems attempted to give rid of old third-party candidates? I did see that. But isn't there like a party that's getting like a third party that's, you know, a centrist party that combines Republicans and Democrats? Don't they have something like that? Like they're going to run a centrist Republican and a centrist Democrat? I'm pretty sure I heard something about that. Ohio will be good. I think he runs a political outsider. He'll do pretty well. Yeah, I think Ramaswamy is going to run for the Senate seat. Doug Vember, so true. George Santos versus Andrew Cuomo, the meme race. Oh, gosh. That's going to be the What's the lowest turnout Senate election in modern history? Can somebody look that up? The lowest turnout for a Senate election in modern history. It would break that easily. Nobody would vote. Be like, what the hell happened? Man Milk for 2. If Trump wins, thoughts of Press Secretary Jones. Are you talking about Alex Jones? Yeah, I love the memes, but I don't think he'd be a good press secretary. Lake would, but I don't. Jones is not there to be a press secretary. That's just, let's be real. What will be closer, Supreme Court or Chicago mayor? That's a tough one. Chicago mayor just because of the Democrat v. Democrat. AOC versus Santos for Senate would be lower. Yeah, it'd be like 10 people vote. It'd be like all the AOC stands, like the Santos stands. That's what would happen. It'd be like 10 people. The rest of the tickets is filled. But for the Santos v. AOC race, it'll be blank. Alex Stein. That's interesting. It'll be amazing. He'd interrupt everyone as press secretary. Yeah, we need somebody to do that. Just every time the media speaks, like, hey, I have a question. No, you're the globalist. The frogs are gay. That would be funny, but Rap, you know Trump's not going to back down from the 2020. That's going to be the one problem with Trump. The 2020 stuff. Look, people support election reform. People want stuff like voter ID, but running on it constantly over and over and over and over again, it's not going to help. Now, the good news, and hindsight at least, this is good news, he is focusing a bit more on unique policies, freedom cities. I think I like the idea. Idaho Senate 2010. I want to look this up. Idaho Senate 2010. Let's see. What was the turnout? Gosh, only 400,000 people voted? Oh my gosh. That's pretty freaking low, isn't it? Who knows? We gotta see. How about Mike Lindell versus Ilhan Omar? Oh gosh, the coalition's that map. You would have... Oh gosh. No. That map would just make no sense. You would have like red, St. Louis County, but blue, what's that? Anacoa. I think that's what it is. I heard Laxalt ain't running. Yeah, that's sad. He was our best option. Rufus for director. No, absolutely not. Thoughts about bringing back Priebus? Ooh, I think yes, but I think his time has passed though. It's been like 10 years. I don't know. I don't know about him. He's okay, but I don't know. How many people lived in Idaho in 2010? True. I just want to find like an election with like a turnout like 5%. Hold on, let me look this up. Lowest turnout Senate election ever. It's probably a 2014 Senate race. That's my guess, because the turnout in that election was like 20%, if I remember correctly. It was something egregiously low. Thoughts? Nah, check 2010 South Dakota. 2010 South Dakota. I gotta look this up. I'm intrigued. Let's see. Oh my god. 227,000? That's it? Wow, that's pretty bad. Wyoming Senate 2014. Oh yeah, we get some doozies now, I can already tell. When you deal with 2014, that's bad. I mean, the national turnout was like, what, 30%? It was the worst ever, I think, for a midterm. Yeah, this one's pretty bad. Oh, man. 168,000. For comparison, in 2020, the Senate race here had 271,000. So, half the expected turnout. How did that... What were they cooking up there? Let's see. If Cheney runs a third party, it would honestly benefit Trump. Yeah, I think it would help Trump. Because she would only win, like, the people that voted for, Bush because of Cheney, but voted for Biden. That's who she would appeal to. Maxwell JW for 5. How good would you rate Kelly's campaign? I would say it's a solid 8 out of 10. The only concern I have is Northwest Wisconsin, like you pointed out. That's my only concern. Here's the thing, though. Northwestern Wisconsin has the Rathman voters. If you don't know who Rathman is, look up 2022 Wisconsin governor's race. He took 3rd. He's the Q guy. He got a lot of votes in Northwestern Wisconsin, and he's been telling his people, go vote. Who knows? Who freaking knows what happens with Northwest Wisconsin? That's where I think the election comes down to, honestly. Steven Crowder versus Pete Buttigieg in Michigan. I think Crowder would win, or no, that's a tough one. Does Crowder even live in Michigan still? Yeah, there's some bad turnout elections. My gosh. Yeah, New York, Santos versus AOC, it would have like 50,000 votes. Nobody would vote. John Joyce, maybe. We need a sacrificial lamb against Bob Casey. All right. I think we're going to call it. If anybody has any more super chats, send them now because I think I'm going to head out. I think we got everything done. Yeah, did we talk about everything? We talked about why Kelly's in a decent situation with the funding, why it's going to come down to pretty much, I would say, Ozaukee, Winnebago, and Grant. These are the 3 counties that, if he's getting good margins here, he's cooking somewhere. So yeah, if anybody has any super chats, I recommend you send them now. Yeah, Crowder lives in Texas. That's what I thought. Ben Shapiro versus Josh. Shapiro would win in a landslide. That's such a cop-out. I'm not going to say how I would think that would happen. Barletta, no. No way Barletta gets a Trump endorsement, sadly. Rank the 10 best governors. I plead the 5th because I would have a controversial take. Should we expect a video tonight? Yeah, there'll be a video later. I just want to do a live stream on this because it's such a big topic. Plus, a lot of memes happened. Ben Shapiro would lose Kansas. I wouldn't go that far. He would probably do better than Trump there. But the rest of the country's like blue. He wins Kansas and like Tennessee. Are you ready for Transformers Day of Vengeance? It doesn't sound good. Speaking of movies, I do have a... should I start doing a movie review stuff once in a while? Because I like John Wick. I thought it was a great movie. And I do want to make a video essay on Man of Steel. I consider that one of the best superhero movies ever. But I thought it was Transmission Day. Oh, I love it. Can we have a GOP governor video list or governor tier list like we did for senators? Yeah, that's probably going to come soon. Review Cocaine Bear. It's pretty prestigious. Larry Hogan versus Michael Flynn 20. Oh gosh, what would the... Hogan would like win Virginia, Maryland, the Northeast. Flynn wins like the Deep South. Review Morbius. It's more billion out of 10. I wonder what April Fool's video you're planning. Oh, don't worry. The April Fool's video, it's going to be a bit different. Usually it's the blue wave talk, but who knows? Yeah, it's good. The April Fool's video, I have a plan for it to be pretty good. It's not going to be the blue wave like I've been doing for the past couple of years. I honestly forgot April 1st is coming up soon, like 2 days. I think Oregon. Yeah, I think Oregon would have the safety state to have a governor. Or no, Vermont. Vermont already has a governor. When's Ross Perot Part 2 coming? I've just been busy with the Wisconsin election stuff. It's coming next month. It's coming probably the second week. That's my guess. Cocaine Bear versus Morbius, 2024. Who would win? I would say Morbius just for the memes. Because Morbius just, he gets energized by memes. That's his strat. Like, it's Morbin time. That's his win. Cocaine Bear's a good meme. Don't get me wrong, but Morbius, I think, would win easily. New campaign trail is a great game. You should play it. I probably will eventually. Probably for a stream, for fun. But it's a bit busy right now. We're a bit busy with all the shenanigans going on in Wisconsin. So yeah, if you don't got any more super chats, I think I'm going to head out. I doubt Oregon is going to flip. Well, what'd you define as safe Democrat? Like that person said safe Democrat. Who knows? Phil Scott, Sununu versus Joe Manchin, Bell Edwards. I would say Manchin Edwards wins that scenario. They would win the South. And I think they'll do pretty good in the Rust Belt. Because Phil Scott's basically a progressive Democrat. That's outside of like taxes. What is to the right of? Nothing. Cocaine Bear. Do you think Trump will win Osceola County, Florida, given the trends? I don't think he'll win it 20. I don't think we're going to win it 2024. I think we will eventually, but it depends. Hello there. Hello, Rap. Hello there. So yeah, any more super chats? Send now or forever go in peace, because yeah, we got everything done. We discussed the coalition. We had a lot of memes on this chat. I'm not playing Roblox. No, I refuse. Cory Bush versus Mike Lindell. Oh, gosh. Another low turnout election. Phil Scott to the left of Joe Biden. That's not even far from the truth. Outside of taxes, what is to the right of Joe Biden on? Exactly. Do you think Trump will win Miami-Dade? Yeah, I think he wins Miami. I think he wins Miami-Dade. Have you seen the Young Kid Roblox? No, I don't play it. Never have, never will. Review Megan. Is that the horror one? I may have to. I haven't watched it yet. All right. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. This was an entertaining stream. A lot of memes, a lot of shit posting. So again, if you enjoyed, smash the like button down below. Be prepared for probably a second video tonight. Just got to see how it goes. Anyways, folks, thank you so much. Godspeed to all.